Let's unearth 15 of Ozzy Osbourne's most unforgettable moments, the shocks, the triumphs, and the magic that made him a legend.
Let's have a nice hand for Ozzy Osbourne.
These weren't just headlines. They were the soul of heavy metal, lived out loud.
Ozzy Osbourne.
This is our tribute to the man who gave darkness a voice, and the number one moment will leave you speechless. Number 15, his final public appearance with Sharon 2024 awards show. It wasn't a stadium or a studio, it was a quiet walk onto a red carpet. In 2024, Ozzy appeared publicly one last time with Sharon by his side. Frail but defiant, he smiled through the pain.
In '79, we were working together, and it was 80 in 1980.
Letting the world know he was still here, still fighting. Fans didn't know it then, but this would be the last glimpse of the Prince of Darkness in the flesh. A man who once stormed stages now stood still, a living monument to everything he survived. And when he looked into the cameras, it wasn't for show. It was goodbye.
It is true. Ozzy had a fantastic time meeting fans and performing for you guys during his final month. He is so grateful and thanks everybody for everything.
But before that farewell, there was one final moment of thunder on a global stage. Number 14. Performing at the 2022 Commonwealth Games closing ceremony, doctors said he wouldn't walk again, let alone sing. But Ozzy didn't just walk, he roared. In front of 30,000 roaring fans, he reunited with Tony Iommi to perform Paranoid in Birmingham, the very city where Sabbath was born. The roar of the crowd wasn't just for the song, it was for the miracle of seeing him defy time, illness, and expectations. His voice cracked, his body trembled, but for 4 minutes, Ozzy was immortal again. It wasn't just a performance, it was a resurrection. But before the comeback, there was the coronation. Number 13, being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Black Sabbath. It took decades, but when it happened, it was thunderous.
When we wrote the very first song, it was sort of doomy, and we just came up with the title Black Sabbath.
In 2006, Black Sabbath was finally inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ozzy took the mic, half sarcastic, half humbled, joking about bloody time. But you could hear it in his voice, the gratitude, the pride, the flashbacks to smoky rehearsal rooms and broken down tour vans. For a man once banned from radio and TV, it was vindication. For the world, it was proof that metal had earned its throne. But Ozzy wasn't done proving himself, not even close. What came next lit up a wax museum.
I saw this ad in the music shop saying, Ozzy Zig requires gig.
Ozzy Zig.
The really stupid ad.
Turn.
Number 12, surprising fans at Madame Tussauds as a live statue. In classic Ozzy fashion, even his wax figure wasn't safe. At Madame Tussauds in 2011, visitors were stunned when the supposedly lifeless Ozzy suddenly blinked, growled, and moved.
I am the Prince of God.
Hidden in plain sight, he jumped out at unsuspecting fans, causing shrieks, laughter, and viral-worthy freakouts. It wasn't just a prank, it was a perfect metaphor for Ozzy himself. Unpredictable, undead, and always in on the joke. Even in stillness, he could electrify a room. Even in silence, he could scream louder than anyone. But the next moment, it wasn't a joke. It was pure heart. Number 11, Mama, I'm Coming Home, live tribute performance.
The song called Mama, I'm Coming Home.
When Ozzy sang this ballad, he wasn't acting. Written during a moment of deep reflection, Mama, I'm Coming Home became a haunting farewell anthem long before anyone imagined it could be literal. In a 2010 live performance, Ozzy's voice cracked with emotion, his eyes welled, and for once, the Prince of Darkness looked achingly human. Fans wept. So did Sharon. It wasn't a farewell, not yet, but It was a glimpse into the man behind the myth. A son, a husband, a soul searching for peace. But just when you thought Ozzy was getting sentimental, he roared back into character with a look, a snarl, and a name. Number 10. The birth of the Prince of Darkness persona.
Take me or leave me. I mean, I'm just Ozzy Osbourne, and I always will be Ozzy Osbourne.
No one crowned Ozzy, he crowned himself. In the early 80s, amid the swirling chaos of satanic panic and metal backlash, Ozzy leaned in. Black eyeliner, crucifix jewelry, bat rumors, blood red backdrops. Prince of Darkness wasn't just a nickname, it was a calculated act of rebellion. He took the fear people projected onto him and made it art. The persona gave him armor, it made him untouchable, and it turned every concert into a ritual. The stage wasn't a platform, it was a throne. And the next chapter in his reign nearly ended it all. Number 9. The 2003 quad bike crash survival.
My fingers are not. Let's go back.
It could have ended right there. A muddy field, a flipped quad bike, a broken collarbone, shattered ribs, and a punctured lung. Ozzy's 2003 accident nearly killed him. He was placed on a ventilator, his life hanging by a thread. But somehow, against all odds, just like every other time death tried to take him, Ozzy fought back. When he finally spoke again, his first words were slurred, but sharp. "I'm not done yet." Fans rallied. Sharon wept. The world held its breath. And when he walked again, it was nothing short of a miracle. But survival wasn't the only thing Ozzy conquered that year. Number 8. Performing with Post Malone in 2019.
Your venom was lethal. I almost believed you. Yeah, you prayed on.
Just when you thought Ozzy might fade quietly into legend, he jumped on stage with Post Malone and Travis Scott at the 2019 American Music Awards. Draped in black, eyes blazing, Ozzy stunned a new generation who had only heard rumors of his madness. The performance of Take What You Want wasn't just a collaboration, it was a cultural collision. Metal met trap, classic met modern. And Ozzy stood at the center of it all, grinning like a mad prophet. The Prince of Darkness was reborn, again. But his true revival came not in a spotlight, but in a hospital room. Number 7. Sharon saving his life, post Overdose. Behind every metal god is someone holding the pieces together. For Ozzy, that was Sharon. In the 1980s, after a near-fatal overdose, it was her who found him. Her who called the ambulance. Her who gave him an ultimatum. You live or I leave.
In 1980 that we started. We were working together and it just became something else.
That moment didn't make headlines, but it changed everything. Ozzy later said that without Sharon, he'd be dead. She didn't just manage his career, she rescued his soul. Their love was chaotic, volcanic, but also life-saving. And the next time he stood before the world, he had something to say, and the whole industry listened. Number 6. His MTV Icon Award speech.
Ozzy, lovely to meet you. Andrea from ITN, Global Icon Award. How does that feel?
I'm in shock. I don't know where they got that from, but...
In 2005, MTV crowned Ozzy an official icon, a title long overdue. But it was his speech that stole the night. Dressed in black, looking more grandfather than villain, Ozzy stood before a crowd of younger rock stars who had all grown up in his shadow. He didn't gloat. He didn't snarl. Instead, he cracked jokes, got misty-eyed, and thanked everyone who ever believed in a lunatic like me. It was raw, honest, humble. For a moment, the wildest man in rock looked grateful, and the audience loved him for it. But if you think Ozzy's most legendary move was a thank you, think again. Number 5. The Osbournes reality show. Debut. No one expected it. In 2002, Ozzy let the world into his home, and it was chaos. The Osbournes wasn't just the first true celebrity reality show. It was real. F-bombs, dog poop, teen tantrums, mumbling rants, and yet millions tuned in. It showed Ozzy not as a monster, but as a dad, a husband, a confused man yelling at the remote. The show humanized him in a way no music video could. It made him a household name, not just in metal, but in pop culture. But behind that suburban madness, Ozzy was plotting the most epic comeback of his life. Number 4. The Blizzard of Oz album launch. After being fired from Black Sabbath in 1979, most people wrote Ozzy off. He was a mess, depressed, addicted, broken. But then came the Blizzard of Oz. With Randy Rhoads at his side, Ozzy delivered a sonic punch to the face of every critic.
A great guitar player, and he co-wrote Crazy Train with me. I mean, I think about him a lot still. I often think where he would be in the picture if he was still around. He was just a great guy.
Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, I don't know. This wasn't just a debut, it was a resurrection. Suddenly, the guy they all said was done, was leading a solo revolution. It proved one thing: you can't bury the Prince of Darkness. But before Blizzard, there was the storm that tore it all apart. Number 3, going solo with Crazy Train. The riff was lightning. The scream was unforgettable. And the message, clear. Ozzy wasn't done. When Crazy Train dropped in 1980, it wasn't just a hit. It was an anthem of reinvention. Kicked out of Sabbath, doubted by the industry, Ozzy came back with a vengeance. The song charted globally, won over skeptics, and introduced him to an entirely new generation. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a rebranding. The madman had gone solo and taken the whole train with him. But if that was the rebirth, what came next was the reunion of a lifetime. Number 2, reuniting with Black Sabbath at Ozzfest, 1997. After years of bitterness and silence, fans believed it would never happen. But in 1997, under the hot summer sky of Ozzfest, Black Sabbath reunited on stage. Ozzy, Tony, Geezer, Bill, the original lineup together again. The cheers were deafening. For a moment, time folded in on itself, and it was 1970 all over again. Ozzy's grin said it all. This wasn't about ego or sales. It was about magic, brotherhood, closure. That night, the gods of metal came home, and yet nothing compares to the moment that sealed Ozzy's legacy in blood and legend. Number 1, biting the head off a bat on stage, 1982.
Seated by his infamy.
I looked evidently through an unconscious bat on the stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat, whatever, and he picked it up and bit the head off.
And Sharon's going, "Dummy, it's real." I'm going, what?
It was never planned. Ozzy thought it was a rubber toy until it twitched in his mouth. The moment he bit the head off a live bat on stage in Des Moines, history was made. Horrified headlines, canceled shows, rabies shots, and an immortal legend was born. That single, shocking act defined Ozzy like nothing else, unpredictable, primal, a creature not of this world. He didn't just play the Prince of Darkness, he became him. That moment became folklore. And Ozzy, he laughed through the blood. If that moment blew your mind and reminded you just how wild Ozzy truly was, smash that like button and hit subscribe. We've got more tributes and stories coming that celebrate the icons who shaped rock forever. Ozzy wasn't perfect. He was chaos and catharsis, myth and man, nightmare and lullaby. But more than anything, he was real. Loud, flawed, electric, and unforgettable. Which of these moments hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. And if you're still hungry for madness, don't miss our video on 15 darkest secrets you never knew about Ozzy Osbourne. Some stories in that one will change the way you see him forever. As Ozzy once said, "I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of not trying." Rest in power, Prince of Darkness.